All right, it says I'm live. So, welcome live from the crossroads of America to a talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. We'll answer questions from the audience, either in the chat or by email at rickslife as I see it at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page, PayPal, and all that other good stuff in the info section below. All right. Let's see who we had in the room. First in was Jason Stewart, then Southpaw, RX, Kingpin, G23, MK. And they're all starting to come in now. And so, before we get started, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope your Christmas and New Year went well. And here we are in 2022. Let's see. At the moment, the only panelist I have at the moment, because I'm waiting for somebody else, other people to show up, is Squib. How you doing, Squib?
Yeah, you're stuck with me.
Yeah, out there in your blind. It's all right. I know you got to be quiet, so I can keep talking for a while.
You can't hear me?
But yeah, we can hear you barely. But it's fine. I understand you're out there hunting. Oh, John Z has joined us in the chat room. So, all right. Anyway, now that get started. I mean, my title said 2022 new gun training or both. What's people's plans? Well, I mean, I always want to buy a new firearm, but it's a matter of one's got to grab my attention.
You've got mail.
And then I have to plan, how I'm going to do it. 9 times out of 10, I'll put it on layaway to give me, 2 or 3 months to pay it off. Is the best way for me to do it. Because if I can never, I mean, I don't know about it. I mean, I can only speak for myself. Is for me to come up with that kind of money, anywhere from $500, $800. I mean, I can come up with it in one go, but I don't like doing that because I'm trying to follow your guys' what's the word I'm looking for? Suggestions at times that maybe I shouldn't do that and should hold some back just in case for emergencies or whatever. So it's easier for me to do it over 2 or 3 months. That's anyway. That's what I'm saying anyway. But what gun grabs my fancy at the moment? If now I see no practical purpose for it, but what I would like is a lever action Henry in 410. Why? I don't know. To me, it looks cool. From what I've seen of it. Has it got any practical purposes for maybe squirrel hunting? Squirrel or rabbit. That's about it I could think of. But I just like the thought of it. A 410 lever action. I don't know. So if I was going to get anything, that's what would be on my list to start with. Actual handgun. I was thinking about this the other day. I've only got, besides my single action, Uberti, my single action army. The only other, well, I got the little 22 Magnum North American Arms single shot thing. But I'm thinking the only revolver I have is a Model 85, a Taurus Model 85 38 Special. So I was thinking I need a 357 Magnum of some sort. So that's so I guess for 2022, those are the two firearms I would like to get. You know, not more than anything. I mean, I unless some new firearm comes available that grabs my fancy, those are the two that I'm looking to. Hey, John Z, you should be able to get a lever action. They make them right there in New Jersey where you live now. Isn't that where Henry Rifle lives? So, Defense Dad, I want a 357 lever action. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad either. But I want to get my 357 revolver first. I more likely end up looking for I don't know. I gotta find one that. When I look for a firearm, 9 times out of 10, I buy it because I like the looks of it. Most of the time. Say 9 times out of 10, yeah. I'm trying to think which gun have I bought that I didn't like the looks of. Well, no, none of them really. I liked them all. So, so if I don't like the look of it, I ain't gonna, I won't shoot it. So I got to figure what make and model of 357. I mean, I know there's Smith & Wesson, but doesn't Ruger make one and all that? So, Ghost Tactical said Henry's in Wisconsin. I could have sworn they were in New Jersey. I don't know why that came to my head.
It's because they're in both.
Do what?
They're in both states.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So, okay. Yeah. What? So, I mean, does Smith makes one? Does Ruger make a 357 revolver?
Yes.
Yeah, now I would imagine Taurus does as well. And I don't have a problem with Taurus. I said I got a Taurus, and when I was in Rhode Island, a friend of mine, he had a couple of Tauruses. He had a 357. I can't remember the model number, and he had another. I think it was 44 Magnum, and they were Tauruses, and I had no trouble with those. So, and I have no trouble with mine. The only thing that Model 85 is a little, what, 1.75 barrel, 2-inch barrel, 38 special. It's snappy. So, anyway, who we got here? Who joined us? Jay. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Rick. Glad to see you. Somehow my stuff got set up. I'm trying to get GunTube reprogrammed for me.
Yeah, I had to do that too because he updated it on me or some shit, and I had to set it all back up again. So, all right, no problem. Good to see you. Okay, so where are we? So I have to get. So I don't have a problem with Taurus like some people do. Oh, AR guns, GP 100 357. Yeah. So like any gun manufacturer, they're outside of the United States, they're one of the biggest gun manufacturers in the world. So if you're the biggest, you're going to get returns, but percentage wise, their returns are no higher, no lower than our American made weapons. It's just that they make a hell of a lot more of them than our guys do. So from what I've been reading.
You looking to get a revolver, Rick?
Oh yeah. Because my topic is 2022. What do you And I say I wanted the two guns on my radar is for some unknown reason I want a Henry 410 lever action, and I want a 357 Magnum revolver, but I don't know which one. I gotta find one that grabs my fancy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, I buy my firearms on looks more than anything else. It's how I buy my cars 9 times out of 10. I buy them because I like the looks of them. I mean, like when I bought that truck, besides the price being right, it caught me at the right angle. That Ford 150 I got when I bought it years ago. The way it glittered in the black and gray glittered in the sun caught my eye, and that's why I went for it. Plus, it was in fairly decent condition when I got it too. But anyway, back to firearms. So I said I normally buy them because of looks, and that Henry makes, no matter what one it is, Henry does make a sweet looking rifle. So, and I've seen one of the 410 Henrys. I saw it. It was behind a counter in a gun store. I wasn't in there for that, so I didn't ask him to look at it or anything. But AR Gun says he wants a new Marlin lever and 30-30. Yeah, I thought of about 30-32 eventually. I like the looks of it. I mean, I got a 22 lever action. And that thing is sweet. So I could definitely do with some more lever action guns. Jacob S says a lever action 357, Smith & West 686, 357. Yeah. That's what I'm looking at, the 686 Smith & Wesson for my revolver. Anyway, let's see who's joined us. New York Outcast has joined us. How you doing?
Doing all right. Sorry I was late. I just got yelled at to wake up because the show was on. I thought you weren't doing one.
Well, I'm glad you woke up.
Yeah, it's a little late. I should have been up anyway.
Jeez, Rob, it's not healthy to sleep all the time.
I tell you what, I don't know what it is. This sounds weird, but I can't think of the brand name of the blood pressure medication the doctor switched me to, but she increased it from 50 milligrams to 100 milligrams. And it makes me sleepy. Whether it's coincidence with whatever else is going on, but I seem to be more tired. I wouldn't say it makes me sleepy. I'm more lethargic, it feels like. Or maybe I'm coming down with a COVID. Mild symptoms and don't even realize it. I don't know.
That sucks. I know alcohol is a thing that did me in. So, alcohol, late night, loud music. I don't even think I went to bed till the sun was coming up. So,
so you celebrated the New Year in?
Oh yeah, definitely did. Hopefully, some other people had a good evening too. So
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Yeah, I remember living those that kind of lifestyle. You know, 323, 410 is scarce everywhere, and if you can find it, definitely not cheap. Yeah, I agree. Before the shortage, 410 wasn't for a shotgun cartridge wasn't cheap. But I don't know. The 410 just grabs the 410 Henry lever action just grabs my attention for some reason. I don't know why, but it just does. So that's my number one gun for 2022 is figuring out how to get one of those. Then a 357 Magnum revolver because I don't own one. I don't own a 357. So you got to have a 357 in your collection, I think.
Yes, it's required.
It's un-American not to have one. So
that's the latest kick that I'm on. I got everything I need. I'm gonna start reloading 38 and 357.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I got a new pistol on the way. So that's kind of what I picked out for this year too. Get into, because I haven't actually took any of my revolvers out. I haven't shot 357 Magnum probably 2 years. So I've been neglecting things. And now that I'm reloading and everything, I was like, might as well not forget about that cartridge and get on it. So I got everything I need. I got a couple bullet molds. I'm going to buy up, I think, some Barry's bullets too.
I like Barry's bullets. I think Barry's bullets are pretty good. So Kingpin says, I have plenty of 410. I also never shot that gun. Jacob S. says, I haven't seen a 410 on shelf in 2 years. yeah, it's hopefully it will get better in 2022. But it all depends.
A little 410 with a slug in it, that ought to do some kind of damage.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably an underrated round from what people talk about and stuff, because I think it's a decent round just for the versatility of it, and you can go from handgun to a long gun with it. So small, you can carry a lot more of those than 12 gauge, but like you said, pretty scarce.
But here you go. Now, would it pay to reload 410? Do they make I know you can reload shotguns, but it's a different system to this. But do they make them in 410?
I don't know, but I'm sure they would.
No idea.
Just something I was thinking, hey, I'd reload them.
Lee's got that Lee load all press for shotguns.
Yeah.
It's not very expensive.
And just get 410 dies or whatever you need to do it. But the problem is, and Tommy Gunn in the chat, correct. Right now, primers are so scarce, it ain't funny.
Yeah. Remember that the shotgun primers aren't the same.
No.
As rifle. They're not going to fit. You can't substitute. So.
Yeah.
But hopefully the primers will come back someday.
Kingpin says, here, sell all these 410s, $5 each. Supply and demand. It's the American way. So, mind you, though, I'm hoping that if I buy one of these things from my local gun shop, they'll throw in a box or two of 410s for the sale. It's going to be part of the deal. You got to throw in a box or two of 410s.
Well, if you come across any 410s, just buy them up now, even if you don't have the gun. And hey, if a couple years go by and you still never got the gun or you change your mind, I'm sure there's still going to be shortages. And if you knew somebody had a 410, I'm sure they would buy it from you.
Yeah, but talking about that, yeah, actually that's not a buy. I plan on getting one eventually. So buying them wouldn't. I don't find that a problem buying them before I have the gun because I am going to get one. Where I have a problem is people, the gun store gets their delivery on Tuesdays and everybody's standing there waiting, and they buy every box before it even hits the shelf. Well, if people keep doing that, this shortage is never going to be over. Buying them for the sake of buying them, to me, is wrong. I don't know why. I just think it is. Because you're playing right. You're playing right into the manufacturer's hands.
It's true. It's part of the problem in a sense, but in another way of looking at it, I mean, if you got the money and you have the need, I probably couldn't be mad at you in a sense. Unfortunately, I probably should have had the forethought to do something a little sooner, in my opinion. Just the way I see some of that. I don't like it when people buy them from the stores and then go down to the gun shop and try to resell them at a jacked price or shows, things like that. That's, I don't know, kind of directly all for profit in a sense. But if you just, there's a lot of collectors and there's people that, shoot like other people, I don't know, drink. So, they may need the ammo. So it's hard to be mad at somebody that's actually using it. I guess somebody that's just sitting on it all, maybe a little bit, but still, it is America, man. It's first come, first serve. You got to get out there.
But what I'm saying is that, but if you keep doing this, as soon as it's delivered, and you keep buying it all up because you're scared there won't be any more. What incentive does that give the manufacturer for putting it for making more? He's charging twice the price, or he's increased the price quite a lot. All right, materials have gone up, but not as much as he's charging. So, I mean, the manufacturer is making money. In these tight times, the manufacturer is making money. Even though he said we can't make it because I've got, I can't get my staff to roll out with COVID, right? Or I can't hire people to do more. Just can't find them anywhere. Well, if he has a box that used to sell for $10, he's now selling it for $20, right? And he's got half the staff he did have. Look at all the money he's saving on health care and all them other benefits, hidden costs of having an employee. Having an employee is just not a wage for a business. You have health insurance, all other kinds of stuff you got to pay to the state, like their
workers' comp.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff all goes in there. So they're not paying that. So out of that, so they're not paying that. So whatever the increase for materials for the manufacturer, by having one less employee, he's paid for that. So it's all pure profit. And you're falling right into the trap by buying everything that hits the shelf. If you're using it, by all means, buy it. But if you're buying it for the sake of just buying it, you know what I'm saying? To me, right now, that's what needs to stop to get the market back to where it was. If you want lower prices, you gotta ease off on what you're buying.
I was going to say, I didn't fall into it. I mean, I guess I can agree to it. So you can state I've fallen into it that way, but I'm not out buying ammo at higher prices. I refuse to. So I'm too cheap for that. So, but thankfully, I've bought some before, so I don't have to force myself to pay twice as much.
Yeah, well, me too. I mean, as I said this before, I mean, the only thing I'm hurting on, I mean, I just do my own reloading, as everybody knows, is I'm running out of primers, but but like 45 ACP, 38, 380. I think I've even got 100 rounds of 38 special. I know that's not a lot, but I haven't fired that 38 special in 2 years. So, you know what I mean? It's not a round that I shoot all the time. So,
aren't primers normally cheap?
Yes. I was saying this the other day.
Get a sleeve for a few bucks or something like that.
This is a box of 100 CCI. Small. This is small pistol primers, right? And I bought this before. The. I've only got 2 of these left now. That's all I got left. I mean, I bought a box of 1,000. I don't know. Before the panic.
How much was that 1,000 before the panic?
This is $4.99 for 100. The label's still on it right there. $4.99 for 100 primers.
It's like $50 for 1,000 then, something like that.
Yeah, but now
so shit. That cost everybody that reload should have had buckets of them.
If you can find them, the price is practically doubled. For like $8.99, for 100, if you can find them. So that's. I've got large pistol primers. I still got a couple of boxes of small pistol primers left. I managed to talk my friend into giving me some more. Small rifle. That's how I loaded my 223s the other day. And I may have, I don't know, I'm trying to think, maybe 50 small rifle primers left, So, so that's where we're at. But back to what I was saying. I've got plenty of ammo. I mean, if I'm running short something else, I've got, because as everybody knows, for the first 4 years of my gun career, which has only been going on, 5.5 years now, I carried a Smith & Wesson 45 full size M&P, and I bought 45 and I reload them. I've got these green boxes back here. The very bottom 2 of that stack there in the very corner is full of 45 ACP. Because I would do what other people said when I went. I used to do it in Walmart a lot in Rhode Island. I would go there and I would buy. Every time I went in the store, I would go to the sporting section way back in the corner and buy a box or 2 every time I went. Even if I was in there just to buy a loaf of bread at the other far end corner, I would walk all the way back to the sports section to buy some. Plus, there was a pretty girl that worked in the sporting section too. But that was beside the point. I used to go. I would buy them all the time. Anyway, did you hear the beginning of my conversation? Oh no, you were asleep. I was talking about what guns. Are you going to buy any guns in 2022? And the other part of my thing, I haven't even talked on that yet, is training. I would love. I've done training. I haven't done any training. Paid for any training. I haven't done anything since I've been in Indiana. So I've been here 3 years. So, but I had training and stuff when I was in Rhode Island. I could do better now because I got two decent hips, at least I can move around without a cane or something, you know. I still might not be able to run or anything because of my back, but at least I can get off the X now without too much trouble. But I would love to go on a training course. Something like what's his name? I don't know how much it is, but I mean, I would love to do one of those sort of like what's his name?
Jaeger, Reed Hendricks.
That's the one, the last one. He's in Valor Ridge. Is that Hendricks? Is that who it is? Is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah, I like to do sort of like one of his courses. You know, but you can find some good local trainers that do this kind of stuff. You just got to do word of mouth, I guess. Talk to people and find out who around does it.
I think that might be a little advanced, Rick. No disrespect or nothing, but physical condition. A lot of those upper courses require a lot of movements, odd positions, different things. So I'm sure they'd take your money, but if you're not really going to go through half of it, what's the point in paying so much?
Well, I mean,
local guy might be a lot better for you, where they're not expecting you to roll around on the ground or hide behind this barrier and run over there and all that type of stuff.
If they were any good, right? If they were any good instructors, they would have some sort of alternative for people with disabilities.
Well, yeah, but why spend full price to get a third of the product, in a sense, if you're just standing on the side while everybody else is going through motions?
But
it doesn't make much sense.
Because they got an alternative for you.
Yeah, stand there and shoot like you could do at your buddy's house.
So I don't know. I would like to do some for lack of I'm trying to think, what's the word I'm looking for? Paid training or professional training with somebody who's, what I'm saying? Instead of, sometimes when I go to my friend's house to shoot, all I'm doing is plinking. I'm putting the target up and having fun shooting at it. But other times when I go, I try to practice or train, do certain things like, drawing from the holster, pulling my shirt up, pulling the gun out, that kind of stuff. I try to do all that. And so if I try to, shoot at a target, then step over one or two places and shoot again. And I try to do all that stuff on my own. But have going into a class, I think would be better. But going in, letting them know that, disabled, can they handle? What do they got? Hey, they might even do a disabled class unless you don't know unless you ask. Just because you're disabled doesn't mean you can't shoot. You know. I don't know. According to some story I heard, there was some guy on James Yeager thing said he had somebody in a wheelchair and he would tip him out of his wheelchair. They would hit the ground. He said they got to learn to shoot. He said what happens if the enemy or the person attacking you throws you on the ground?
Jaeger's class.
Is James hiring?
What?
Is he hiring? He could throw people out of wheelchairs and shit and get paid for it. That's crazy.
I don't know if he's hiring. I don't watch his shit. But I'm just saying that's what I heard early on.
Oh, it's true though, but people don't like to hear the truth. So,
so I'm just, I don't know if other people have done that. other trainers, but so.
Jaeger had a class where he had students all in a line, and they had to shoot and move forward, and one person was in a wheelchair, and one of the instructors pushed the guy in the wheelchair, and everybody else was in front of him with their backs to him, and he was firing behind them. And when he was confronted about it in an interview on YouTube, the instructor said, "Safety is for pussies." I wouldn't give James Jaeger a damn dime of my money. If that's his attitude, where you're going to take a bunch of strangers who don't know each other and put them in a training class they've never been in before and have them in a line and have the person in the wheelchair shooting with people standing in front of him, shooting behind them, no way. I could understand if this was a military or police unit or a militia unit or something where these people train together, they work together, they live together, they know each other, and they're all on board with this sort of training where you're using live fire in certain circumstances. I can understand that. But when you're going to one of these classes and you don't know another damn person in there and you got some stranger behind you, no, hell no.
Okay, so that was okay. So where did this story come from where he tipped the guy out of the wheelchair? Must have been just made up, I guess.
That might have happened too. I wouldn't put it past him. He's a product. He's a brand. He sells himself. He doesn't.
Yeah. But I was just using him because that's the one story I heard. I don't know if other instructors do it or not.
You can take his training. He won't be there. It'll be his people. You're going to his institute. And that's a lot of this stuff. I'm not saying that some of these people whose names are behind it don't ever show up or they're not part of it or whatever. But the reality is you become a brand and you sell a product. You're not really a trainer or a Second Amendment advocate or whatever it is. You are a product. And that's what you're buying when you're paying these assholes to train you.
There you go.
I think that safety aspect, what you're speaking of, Squib, I don't know. I debate with that, I guess. Maybe in general, average people, sure, or whatever. Beginners, like you're stating, I don't know. But at some point, you got to kind of dive in somewhere. Maybe, it's not ideal for everybody, and a lot of people can't hang a picture. So, certain motor skills or basics are lacking, so it is risky. But I'm sure you sign waivers to go in, things like that. But I know in my life experience, safety is something that's like it's brought up in the beginning, it's reminded, but throughout normal practice, I mean, when you got like 6 guys in the back of the truck all armed and fire like, you getting flagged all day, basically. You know what I mean? Shells dropped all over. I mean, safety is an idea. Shit happens. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess I think some situations people are a little too safety gung-ho. It's like everybody becomes an instructor, and now they be turned into a safety Nazi. But it's the same thing with roofing or other things. I mean, you're always supposed to be clipped on. You're always supposed to do that. Like Jesus said, take me 3 times as long to finish my job. I don't do half that shit unless OSHA's standing down there. I mean, I'll be honest with you. And I make it through my job every day. So, you know what I mean? Like, you don't fuck up. That's part of the job. You fall, you die. You don't fuck up. If you're not one of them people, you shouldn't be in that team. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I guess I'm bouncing all over the place. I just think safety's hit on a little much sometimes. Obviously, some people need to focus on it more than others, but like lots of things, there's different levels of people and skills. So I don't know. So I would just argue, I think, a class like that with live fire, or even walking through people fire, I don't see too much of a problem with it as long as you know what you're going into. Okay, and you could die going to your car and on the way to the class. Shit happens.
Yeah. I remember when I went to the first, this is early on, I think it was the second or third time I ever went to the indoor range in Rhode Island. They had this rule that your gun had this, your firearm, your handgun, rifle, whatever firearm you were using, can only be loaded when you got to the bench that you were, the alley you were assigned to, whatever. And then when you finished, it had to be unloaded there on the bench. Well, I mean, I remember shooting my 45, and I still had a magazine in it. I walked out of the area to the table that's at the back of the room, put my stuff down, and popped the magazine out. Oh man, that guy, what are they? The Gestapo, the range. What's the word for him?
Safety Nazi.
Yeah. Oh man, he went ape shit. He said, I could bar you from ever coming here again, for what you just did. I said, do it then. And I was new to guns. And he looked at me. I said, yes, I broke your rule. I apologize, but nobody died. So where's the problem?
Okay, the problem is you have no regard for safety. You have no regard for rules. There's a reason there's rules. There's a reason there's policies. There's a reason for all of it. If you want to go ahead and violate the safety rules at that location, then go to your own damn range. Build your own damn range in your own backyard and do all the things you want to do. But when you are at a place like that, they have certain liabilities and they create a certain atmosphere. If you're a new shooter, get a fucking clue. I'm not going to die because some jackass next to me doesn't know the first thing about guns and shoots me. Just like I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars, take a week off work, and fly across the country to go to some tight T-shirt guy's freaking class, only to have him say safety.
Dude, you trust people on the road every time you drive somewhere. Somebody else could be high or fucked up and run into you and kill you every time you hit the road. But you want to freak out because somebody walks from one table to the next with a loaded gun. That's ludicrous.
There are reasons those rules exist.
Yeah, but
it's not your property.
I didn't do it on purpose. It was just, I just didn't think about it at the time. That's why I unloaded it when I got to the table, because I realized I forgot to do it before I left my workbench type thing. These things happen. You telling me that you have never skipped out on a safety procedure at your factory? Ever?
I have violated safety procedures at different places at different times, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes intentionally. But when I've been the safety guy, you're damn right everybody's following the protocols. And if you don't like it, fucking leave.
Yeah. I mean, I understood what the rules are for. But what I'm saying is the way you jump.
We actually.
There's ways of saying, hey, guy, you did that wrong.
So there was a guy at the range once that kept breaking the rules, and the range masters politely reminded him of the rules. And then he broke them again. Then they more sternly reminded him. And by about the fourth time, they were yelling at him. And when it was over, everybody left. Me and my wife stayed in the parking lot, and this guy was arguing, yelling with the range masters there. It was just him and the range masters up there. The range masters at my range are not armed. They are not armed. This guy was armed, and he's arguing with them. And I'm like, if this shit goes down, I'm getting in there and I'm protecting the range masters. And we waited until this jackass left. There, like what roll call says, there's a door. If you don't like it, don't be there. I've gone to ranges where it's been too strict, or it's been too crowded, or it's been too expensive, or whatever. And I said, I'm not spending my money here. I'm not spending my time here. Nobody's forcing you to be there. While you're at their facility, it would be a good idea if you followed their rules. If you break the rules, that's fine. If they jump up your ass about it, and you want to be a sore loser, then freaking leave and don't ever fucking come back. Be a capitalist and don't give them your money. But the reason there are safety rules is because there have been accidents, there have been injuries, there have been deaths. I used to be a safety guy, an industrial safety guy. I'm not anymore. I have volunteered to do that for my company time and again because there's nothing but safety problems all over. They don't want it. One day when they get sued or OSHA shuts them down, I'm going to be the one laughing. I'll go get another job. I don't care. So since I'm not the safety guy, I don't worry about that sort of thing. But I can see it. I'm not blind. And when I was first a safety guy, I had trouble understanding this stuff. After a while, I started to understand why those procedures exist, why those rules exist, why there's fines, why there's and you know what? Not everything is you're automatically going to get kicked out. Not everything is you're going to get a ticket or a fine or whatever. There's lots of leeway and there's lots of opportunity for somebody to learn. So I can understand you might be pissed off that he talked to you that way, but you're in his house. So he'll talk to you any damn way he wants to. And if you don't like it, leave, because there's plenty of people that are there that follow the rules that really don't want to get shot in the back. Nobody got hurt. Well, no shit this time. That's why the rule exists, because at some point, somewhere, sometime, somebody got hurt, killed. It happened multiple times, whatever it is. And that's why that stuff is there. Nobody likes it. It costs more money. It takes more time. What you do at your business is your business. What you do in your home is but when you're in somebody else's house, yeah, you might want to show a little respect.
Yeah, I've had different thoughts over that subject over the years. Maybe like, look, man, these rules are crazy, or I don't like their range officers, or this or that. But then one time I came across a group of people at the range that had no common sense, had no experience with firearms at all. Everything was a big fun and game, laughing party, and they were just dangerous as hell for themselves and all the rest of us. So then I realized, I get it. Uh, you know what I mean? The more you deal with the public and the more people deal with, the more stupid people you come across. So, yeah, I get that. Like Squib says, you're in their house, you follow their rules. Uh, may not be specifically targeted for you or the kind of person you are, but like I said, there's all kinds of people in this world.
You're right. And as I said, I mean, it wasn't, I didn't do it on purpose. I guess, as Squib said, it was the way he spoke to me just put my back up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he wasn't right, but yeah. So I mean, he put my back up, so I snapped back.
I don't think he's right in a sense. It's all about how you approach somebody and
That's
speak
what
to
I was
them.
saying.
So yeah, and I mean, I don't know, I guess passive in a lot of ways, but there's some shit I'm not going to deal with unless you're a drill instructor. You don't care if you're my freaking mom. You're not talking to me like that. Like, no. So I'm not your bitch, and we can take this and handle it right now. So, you know what I mean? There's a way to speak to people. I've seen that with employees at stores too. Like, there ain't no way. I've almost knocked my boss out a couple times in the past before he realized, like, I wouldn't, I'll go to jail.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's just like training like a new employee or something to do a job. People just naturally put up a resistance, like plain and simple. If I'm trying to teach you how to do a job, I just showed you how to do it, told you this is how I want it done, and that's what I want you to do. I don't need you trying every possible scenario in your mind to work around what I just told you, or try to come up with your own reasoning for everything I said. I have the experience here. I'm the professional. I have a reason why I told you to do it this way. But on day one, I'm not going to spend all day explaining myself to you. I'm telling you what I want done. If you can't get that done, well, then, we're starting off on a bad foot. You're probably not going to make it. But it's kind of the same way with the farms or thing. You're told what to do. Don't sit there and try every reason in your head to do the exact opposite. Just do what you're told, learn something for yourself, and then go from there. But a lot of people are like that. Like you tell them, don't do this, and they'll be like 1,000 reasons. Like, oh well, this is how Grandpa did it. This is how my friends do it. This is how I've always done this and that. I'm looking at a big picture that has a lot of different elements to it for the reason why I told you to do something. And people some people are enthused, like will put in firearm training. They want to go there and learn. You know what I mean? They're excited about it. They want to do it. But then there's going to be the people that just don't like being told what to do.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree with you. And I was the same way. Hey, on Kingpin goes, "Mommy, the RO was mean to me. You all sound like Democrats."
I understand. I understand the other side of it. One time I was invited to go to a gun club. They were having a shoot that they do every year. It's a CMP style shoot, but it's not a CMP. You don't get credit towards it being a CMP match. And I know how to do those type of matches. But they had all these new people there. What happened is this gun club, they're losing members. They're more or less all the old guys are dying off. They need new members. So they're asking people to bring friends or bring acquaintances or bring a stranger. It doesn't matter. Just bring somebody. So I was one of those friends of a friend who went. And here's all these. There's a handful of good old boys that have done this every year. They know the range, they know the rules, they know the contest, they know everything. And then the other 2/3 were new people. Some of them barely any firearms experience. And they had the match, and they didn't go over any rules. They didn't go over any safety, anything. They just started it. And I went and did what I used to do. It was just the way we used to shoot on the rifle range in the military. And when it came time to police up the brass, I cleared my rifle. I put the flag safety in it. I laid it down with the muzzle facing downrange, and I walked downrange to pick up the brass. And I immediately got yelled at because I crossed the firing line. Their rule was they want them all put in the rifle racks behind the range. Well, we didn't used to do that because there was no fucking rifle rack behind the range. I did what I did best. So I got yelled at. Okay, I put my rifle away, and then we all policed up brass. Then later, we're working the butts. That's where you're down raising and lowering the targets, right? Now, I've done that before. I know how to do that. Me and one member of the club were the only two people who knew. Everybody else is looking around. They don't understand the terminology. They don't know what to do. And this guy's yelling at him, yelling at him, yelling at him. Finally, at one point, I pull him to the side and go, quit right now. These people have never done this before. They don't know what you're saying. They don't know what to do. It might have been helpful if you had walked everybody around and gave them some training beforehand. And he goes, well, how do you know what to do? I said, I learned this in the military. He said, what branch? I said, Marine Corps. And he took a step back. And I said, yeah. I said, don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place for this. And this is not the time and the place. So he stopped and he took some time to explain to everybody. And then he called back to the firing line. All right, commence fire. And they got better. But these people had no idea what the fuck they were doing. And then later he pulls me to the side and he says, it took a lot of balls to tell me that. And I said, not really. I said, I get it. All right. But if you want new members for your club, you're inviting these people out here and then you're throwing them into something they've never done before. They have no idea what they're doing. Doing this isn't going to get you new members. And he goes, no, I meant that you had a lot of balls, telling a member of the club what you thought, because that club only lets you come in if you're, a member. And I said, you know what? It doesn't matter to me. I'm not even going to get into this club at all. He goes, well, all you need is a recommendation of another member. And I said, yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen. He goes, you got my recommendation, and I'm the president of this club. I was like, damn, then I took a step back, right? But the thing is, though, if you're going to go, you bring your A game and you stand your ground, but you also understand that you're in somebody else's house. And sometimes there's some confusion there. There's an opportunity to learn. If you get pissed off and you hold a grudge forever, that says a lot about your character, not the person who pissed you off, not the person who was rude to you or whatever. But if you get pissed off and you get over it, that shows a lot more about you having good character. So it's an opportunity to learn, or you can just be bitter the rest of your life. Make a choice.
Yes, I didn't hold a grudge against the guy for yelling at me. I just snapped back because I didn't like the way he spoke to me. But I didn't hold a grudge. I mean, I'm one of those guys, I can get over it. I can hold a grudge too, but I didn't hold a grudge on that. Because he was right and I was wrong. It was just the way he said it.
You should have shot him in the leg and then said, why did you make me do that?
Yeah. But anyway, but when it comes to what you were talking about, Jason, I remember when I worked for the federal government. We had guidelines, regulations that we had to follow, even in the meat department, right? They wanted something done a certain way. And I used to have people come in and say, well, I don't do it that way. That ain't the way to do it. And I would say, I ain't arguing with you. I agree with you. Your way is better. But until that book is changed, this is the way we're doing it. So, I mean, I used to be a hard ass like that when I was a manager. You know, I said, I totally understand what you're telling me, but until they change the guidebook, the rule book, the regulation, we do it the way they want it done. You know?
That makes sense. If you're the boss or an instructor at a facility or something like that, it makes sense. Obviously, you got to be by the book in a way. But, when you're not that safety guy, then, I really don't think it's your place to go over up yelling at everybody else personally. There's a lot of morons out there. So if a few of them want to, thin the herd, what the hell's the problem with it? Let it be. So, I don't know. Like I said, some of that safety Nazi stuff is just off the wall ridiculous. Like, I don't even go to half the places you guys go to. Like, even the range Squib goes to. There's no way I'd go to a place like that. I might go there with him if I showed up for a day or something. But, I'd never become a member somewhere like that. I don't have paying to go be harassed or any of this type of crap somewhere. So, to me, that's just all kind of ridiculous. I mean, if you're a moron and foolish, but it seems like a lot of these places, it reminds me of being 12 years old, walking to a store, everybody's just staring at you waiting for you to steal something. I'm not paying to go get that feeling from a place and be restricted on everything I can do there as well. So for me, it's better just to go off somewhere else where I don't have to worry about it. So if anybody out there is somewhat like me, go to a place, where you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'll talk about it at some other time. That'd be a good topic. But anyway, no, what I want to know is, so out of my topic, new gun for 2022 or training, are you going to do either one of those this year? New York.
No idea. I'd always like more firearms. It's just justifying being able to spend the cost to get them. And training, I'm always open to that idea. So it just depends on what pops up, what's available. I'm not going to search it out or anything like that. Honestly, I've done a bit in the past. So it's, doesn't mean like it's over. I think that's one of the things people screw up on. I'm going to take this class and now I'm the man for life. Like, that's a joke. Anything you do that you're good at, you have to do regularly. And you should always keep pushing yourself. As soon as you think you know it all, that's when you lost, in my opinion. You could always learn. You could always get better. So I would look forward to some type of training, but it all depends on cost, availability, location, things like that. As you said earlier, that Clint guy, I think he's retiring, but I'd love to go do something like that. But I'm not paying $2,500 to go shoot. So, and crossing the country to do it. It's just
you're talking about what came up in Washington, Oregon.
Yeah, it's just not in my cards. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or what, $6,000 for the weekend or something like that. Yeah. I'd love to do that, but I can't do that. You know,
Thunder Ranch, Clint Smith.
Yeah. So there ain't even no point in putting that on my list. I'll be lucky. I might take a class from a guy for under $200 somewhere, and then hope I'm not disappointed when I get through with it. But I'm sure I'll pick something up from the class. But yeah. So I don't know. Long story short, I guess I don't know. Nothing pinned down. But I'm open-minded to anything. And obviously, if any good deals, firearms comes my way, and I have the money, I'll be on. I'll be on it. But if it's something I'm looking for.
So there's nothing you're looking for firearm.
No, okay. Not really. My M&Ps fill the bill, man.
Yeah. What about you, Squib? Any firearm you after this year?
Something new popped up on the radar. I think this year I'm going for 50 Bushmaster. So that'll be a project. I've got stuff that I've been wanting to get, and when I got the money, they're out of stock. Then when there's no money in the gun envelope, what do you know? It's back in stock. So sometimes the law of supply and demand affects my purchase. I'm really more of an impulse buyer. I'm at the gun show. I see it. I've been wanting one of these things. I get it, right? Or something like that. But yeah, right now, 450 Bushmaster rifle is probably on the to-do list this year. And then anything else that happens. I've got lots of projects, but it's mostly accessorizing or making some changes to existing platforms I've got. But I don't know if I'll get around to them. It's just time and money, mostly time. As far as training, yeah, I think we're finally going to take the Michigan Concealed Pistol License class this year. I've taken it before, so it's no big deal for me. There'll be some changes because they've relaxed some of the laws, so there'll be some new things. Plus, the perspective of a different instructor than what I had is always useful. For my wife, it'll be the first time, but she got a 380 under the Christmas tree this year. I said, now you can take the class because she's been wanting her own handgun, but she may not like it. We're going to have to take her out to the range, see if she likes it. If she doesn't like it, I'll get her something else, but this is a good start. So I've been wanting to get her this gun for years. Actually, you helped me make that decision, Rick.
What decision?
What gun to get her for Christmas.
I did?
Yeah, remember when we were at the Smith & Wesson Performance Center booth together?
No.
Back in 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Ohio 45 ACP. Yeah, right then and there, I said, this is the gun I think I want to get for Don't Call Me Mrs. Squibbler. And just, it wasn't in stock. And you were lucky enough to get one. But when it finally came back in stock, I got it. So that'll be kind of incentive to take that class. And we'll just see where it goes from there. But really, those are probably the only two investments that I'm purposely looking for. Anything else is just, I'm really just an impulse kind of guy, you know.
Yeah. What about you, Jason? You bought enough guns this year anyway.
Hush your mouth, old man. You on Alzheimer's medicine or anything? No. Yeah, I'll buy anything that I come across that I like. I got something in layaway right now, so I've already started out 2022 with that. But I'd like to, if I could find the time and a place, I'd be really interested in some rifle training, some longer range shots, maybe some moving targeting shots, things along that, man. I'd rather have some training, with a rifle, with more targets and obstacles and barriers, stuff that just don't have available to me. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I'd love to go do some training.
That actually sounds pretty good. Do you have any place down where you're at where you can do long distance shots? Because most of the ranges around here are
not really.
Okay.
Not really, but I got a pretty nice setup at my gun club for 100 yards, and I can get 200 if I ask permission. But if I could just go, even learn something up close, it'll let me repractice it on my own and have some fun or do what I can. But I'd really love to have a place that had a moving target of some sort. You know what I mean? And not to be a dick about it, but I'd like to take some shots at a human silhouette that's moving. That might, be useful someday. Not at 100 yards, you know what I mean? But just I'd like to try some Texas wheels. I'd like to try some kind of moving target, even if it just falls down or moves back up or does something. I just like to do something like that.
Yeah.
Balloons kind of work for moving targets. So just a little tip. Obviously, it's probably not ideal in every situation, but if you got a day with a little bit of wind, you can hang balloons off trees or this or that, whatever, stakes, whatever you want to do. Mark out different colors so you can hostage, bad guy, whatever. So done that with my kids probably 10 years ago, and we had a ball with that. I mean, what you can do with $5 worth of balloons can be, half a day's worth of fun. So just an idea.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with multiple targets, just spaced side by side or whatever I can do, and moving back and forth instead of just staying on one target. I really get an enjoy of that, but that's also kind of limiting too, to me. But it's better than stationary targets. But yeah, I just like to at least have the experience and be able to take in some advice on some of that or whatever. Then I can apply that later on my own.
Yeah, I mean, like when I go to my friend's place, we got 100-yard target in his backyard. We can go, actually, you can go slightly more than that, but not much more, maybe another 10, 15 yards. But then you'll be up against the rock wall. Well, it's not a wall, it's an actual, I wouldn't call it a mountain, but he's actually got a sort of like a rock hill is the back thing to our range, and but we got it 100 yards. We got a 6-inch still target at 100 yards. I can't even see the damn. I have to use his rifle because he's got a scope on his. I can't see it with my red dot. The 6-inch target.
I just got a packet of targets in the mail. Got 100 targets at Amazon for $25. But they're AR-15 targets set up for M4 carbine, and they have the grid pattern on it and a silhouette, but they're simulating 300-yard shots. But you set it out at 25 yards to zero your rifle on this, and it actually has a little picture of my carry handle sight rear and the front, for your AR, and it actually tells you right there on the chart where the bullet is and which way to turn your sights, how many clicks due to the grid pattern. Because I get confused with them all the time. It takes a lot of shots to zero in. When you're moving the sight, it says up here. Am I physically moving the sight up, or am I moving where my shot lands up? You know what I mean? And I just saw those, and I was like, oh, well, that could be handy to speed up the process, is zero it in. And I have several with that type of sight system. So I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. And I thought 100 of them for $25, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it says they're waterproof.
They definitely work.
Yeah.
They definitely
you understand
work,
what I'm
Jason.
saying? You understand what I'm saying about, like, the gun will be marked, your sights will be marked up or down or something, left or right. But is that physically the sight, or is that point of impact? And of course, I'm sure some gun manufacturers do it opposite. So I just saw those sights or those targets, and I was like, hell yeah, I want to try.
I don't know how people sight things in like 3 shots. I can't do it.
Yeah. I took an AR out a couple months ago, and I wouldn't say that it's completely zeroed in. It's pretty decent using a holdover, which I shouldn't be doing, but it's pretty decently sighted in. But man, I went through about 300 rounds. Well, I started out, took this brand new rifle right out of the box, sights bolted right on, never adjusted, and I was instantly on the 100 yards. My spotting scope won't show me a hit at 100 yards. So then I had to move back to 50 yards and just messing with the spotting scope, trying shots. I didn't have any rest. I'm just using my knee, using my elbows, and using my range bag. So I really wasn't, the best scenario to be sighting in a new rifle, but it worked. But now I got a nice rest I'm going to use, and I'm going to try these sights or these targets, and kind of like start all over again and see if I can't zero them in.
Well, those targets work, Jason. I can tell you, because when you join the military, like when they run you in through basic BMR, when you get your rifle, all this stuff, that's pretty much, it sounds like identical to the targets they're giving you to zero.
They say like Let me grab one. I thought they said something about the military official target. One side of the target is for a 20-inch M16A2, M16A4, and the other side of the target is for M4 carbine.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, if I assume even if it's not the identical, because I believe we just got a single target, but it was set up towards the M16, but same deal. Basically, you had like 5 rounds of 0, and then you were off to go qualify. And just about everybody qualified. Like, you have a handful of people that never hold a gun in their life that didn't, but they were given a chance to retry in a sense. But on average, if you follow those instructions properly and you do your job, the round will hit where it should. Because you're instantly moved off to the moving targets where they're staged out to 600 meters, popping up for less than 3 seconds. So those targets work, and it takes the average person less than 5 rounds in the military. So anything where you're talking hundreds of rounds just sounds like you were drunk, man.
Jason. You have to send me a link to those targets.
Yeah, I will, man.
Yeah.
I saw them off at Small Arms Solutions at Chris. Does a lot of AR-15 stuff. I was watching a video of his, and he had it down there in his links below. Right in the rain targets or something like that. They're waterproof. They're not very big. The whole target's only about the size of a notebook paper.
Yeah.
But it's set up for 25 yards, but simulates 300.
Well, we got a target stand at. Well, we got a few target stands at 25 yards in his backyard. We got still targets all over the place. We love shooting at still, me and my buddy. It's the sound of lead hitting still is great. So
till it comes back and hits you in the nose.
Nah, we don't stand that close. But anyway, we use paper targets too. But as you said, if it's waterproof, it's even better. So I got we got some paper targets we're using up there now that are those splatter ones. You hit them and it goes yellow.
Yeah. Dirty Birds. That's what I use. Yeah. But it's still, I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are on it, but I got like a spotting scope, and it works great at 50, but a 22 size hole at 100 yards, that scope can't pick it up. So that's not the greatest, but sure is nice. You can hit them orange shotgun pigeons out there 100 yards, pick that up with the scope real easy. So
I got to get a scope for my mentioned that he might have a magnifier to send me, but he hasn't got around to doing it yet because I think he's still moving house, well and well armed. But I might buy myself a cheap scope to use in the meantime or something. Because, I can see the target at 100 yards, but I can't see it if I hit it or not. And I walk up there and you can see where I've hit the target, but I can't see it at 100 yards that I've hit it. So I need a scope. So, anyway.
When I took that rifle out at the 100-yard target, honestly, that was the first shot I ever took out of an AR at 100 yards.
Yeah.
And I just used the little silhouette target that is for my pistols that I'm shooting off at 10 and 15 yards. I put that out there and pretty much the sight completely covered the target. And I didn't know what was going on right out of the box, put a carry handle on it, just lined it up as 0 on the carry handle. And I went out there and I didn't know what I was doing. So I aimed, like I thought, the middle kind of high, and I fired off a couple shots and couldn't see them on the scope. So then I moved down. I thought, well, because I could see the dirt hitting the hill, my dust pile. And I was like, just gave me the impression, I'm like, man, maybe you're a little high. So I dropped down a little bit and shot a couple times. and decided, well, I better go down there and check. And I went down there, and I had a headshot, a throat shot, and 2 shots to the target's lower right belly. So I was like, right out of the box, I was like, well, if you was an attacking midget and you was crouched down 100 yards away, I could still get you right out of the box.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He got some new targets for Christmas. His wife bought him, my friend, of what you're talking where it has a guy standing there with another one holding a hostage. He's got some of those for us to use next time I go over there.
Hostage shots.
Yeah. So we're messing around with those.
Shoot the hostage, then the bad guy will be more exposed.
Yeah. Also, back in the woods of his place, he's got a wood cutout of a Bigfoot leaning out from behind a tree. I might take a shot of that one day. So, yeah, he's got it back in his woods. You can see it from the road, especially this time of year when there's not a lot of leaves. You can see this. He's got this. It's painted black, and he's got like it'll be like a silhouette of a Bigfoot leaning out from from behind one of his trees. So, just a little side note. Anyway, it's 4:15 already, and so I got one of my cats here scratching my leg, wanting to get fed, and I'm going to have hamburgers and French fries tonight, and not pre-made frozen ones. I actually went and bought some ground beef, fresh ground beef. Made some burgers. I got them already made. I made them before I came on air, so they're ready to go on the grill. Then I'll cook some fries in the air fryer. That way I don't have to stand over and make sure the fat doesn't get too hot and catch on fire. I've had that happen to me before too, once upon a time. You
didn't have sauerkraut today? Sausage?
No, I didn't have no sauerkraut today.
Oh, well, you got to do that for good luck for the rest of the year, man. Works for me.
I don't have any sauerkraut in the house. No, I mean, I don't do I don't do all those. Maybe that's why my life sucks, because I don't follow any of those old things. What's the other one? Eating black-eyed peas or something on New Year's Day or some shit?
Yep.
I don't do any of that stuff.
We call them money beans here, but I think that's just our clan's way of saying it.
Yeah, I don't do that kind of stuff. Maybe that's why I always have bad luck. I don't know. So let's see. Obnoxious one got hit by brass when shooting at a steel target over 20 yards away.
He got hit with the copper, the casing from the bullet.
Oh, okay. I'm with. Yeah. Okay.
Bounced off the metal target.
Embedded in the skin. Yeah. Blood. Damn. Yeah. I wear glasses anyway, but sometimes, I don't always wear them, but I wear glasses all the time. But occasionally, sometimes I won't do it, but I got a pair of safety glasses that fit over the top of these ones.
I remember watching Hickok. Hickok 45.
Yeah.
And the little target range he's got set up right there at the hill and everything.
Yeah.
I saw him one day shooting AR-15, shooting 5.56 or 2.23 or whatever. And it was 80 yards out, and it was splashing the pebbles in his driveway, like a couple feet from his legs, and he ended up, I think, that day with a blood mark on his leg, and he was just hitting that gong, and he said it was only 80 yards out, and he likes for it to at least be 100, and it was splashing back all the way there, back to his feet in front of him.
Yeah.
Over and over. You could see, once you noticed it, you could see it in the shots. So every time you take a shot, a second or two later, you'd see the dust come up at your feet. So every single shot
re-angle
was
those
going
targets
straight back. Yeah, stuff likes to come straight back. You wouldn't think it would or that far, but it's
Yeah.
science.
I mean, that's why
Stuff
normally
comes straight back.
if you got a fixed still target, you should set it at an angle where it's when the bullet hits it, it go down.
Yeah,
that's what you're meant to do.
I would think that little 55 grainer or whatever probably didn't have the thump. Move that target to angle it. You know what I mean? So
those targets that we were using for prizes, right? I hit one of those with a 5.56 at 50 yards, and I had it on two hooks on a round pole, and it actually spanned the thing around. It actually hit it, flipped that target up over the top of the round pole and back around again. It hit it that hard.
Snop did that to a coyote last week.
I've hit the one I got with the 5.56, and it's held up well. It did fly back pretty good, but the way my setup is, it didn't go anywhere. So,
mine are holding up even at 50 yards. Heading with 5.56, they're holding up okay.
The angle your steel makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to hang it like I got my setup on chains where it's hung, and it looks like it's like a sawhorse, but the center beam you can actually rotate. You can pull the whole center with the chains and plates right out of the stand.
Yeah.
Easier for transport, whatever. So if anything hits too hard, where the chains and the stress of it, the whole thing just spins. So it helps absorb more of it in a sense. So basically, if you're shooting at steel, make sure the shit's put upright or done in a way where it's not going to have those issues. I know with me, you can see on camera even where the rounds come off the steel and into the ground, and nothing's coming back my direction.
Yeah.
So, just a little forethought. Just because you buy something that says it's for this, and set it up, test shit out. It's just like a safety on a brand new gun. Don't just assume it works. Test it out.
What are you talking about here? What if you're in a self-defense scenario and you miss and you hit something that's steel? You've got to know what that's like. You've got to be able to handle that situation in case you actually do have to shoot at something metal, through something metal, ricochet, a stray round or whatever. No, don't worry about getting hit by metal shards, man. If you can't handle that, man, I don't know what business you have carrying a gun around. Safety is for pussies.
Oh, that sounds crazy, man. And every time you're going to shoot, you're dealing with shrapnel. I think that's going to lessen the opportunities that you want to go out shooting.
Hey, even Hickok stands there in his shorts shooting at these targets and they're hitting his legs and he keeps on shooting. That's what you got to be.
Hey, man, I'm just preaching to the choir. I'm just using your logic against you.
Yeah, I'm careful where on those targets. Mind you, you're right, G23. It does. The instructions do say in AR 500 you shouldn't shoot rifles under 100 yards. But the ones set at 50 yards are actually, we got them set up for our handguns, is what they're for. And we actually stand at 25 yards when we're shooting handguns at them. But I backed it up to 50 yards and just wanted to see what it would do, and it literally span it in a circle. It was kind of cool actually, but it's not something that we do every time with a 5.56, So, but we aim at the still target at 100 yards. I said I can't see it though. I have to use my friend's one because he has a scope on his. And I can see it with a scope and hit it, but with mine, I can't see it. I got a general idea where it's at, but I can't actually see it clear enough to hit it. So, unknown user. Why is Squib whispering? Because he's out there deer hunting. He's in his blind. Why is Squib whispering? Is he under the bed waiting for his wife's boyfriend to leave?
Oh shit!
Oh.
Should come to where I work. I've had deer right out front of me all week long. One time there was 6 of them, but most every day there was 4, and they come right up to the construction site, and I stuck out behind a pile of the trusses for the roof, and I was within 50 yards of all 6 of them with nothing in my way but a 3-foot tall little tree.
And you didn't take
bush.
a shot?
I didn't have a gun, and it's like there's houses right there, so you can't.
No.
It's not hunting, but they're up there all day long, wagging their tails and eating.
See,
and there's dump trucks beeping, backing up, pouring, excavators digging, people everywhere. Them deer don't pay any attention from you. And my friend was hollering, when I was sneaking up close to him, like, you're going to scare them off. And 2 of them lifted their head up to look when they said that, but they were looking the other direction from where I was and went right back to eating. Those deer are so tame living up here, next to people. Easy pickings. I mean, you never get one better than that.
Well, take your gun with you.
I know, you could have got 2 for 1. Where I was sitting at, I actually had trusses hanging out to steady the rifle. You could have went right through one and hit the one right next to it. They were
there you
stacked
go.
up
See, I wouldn't worry about the houses around the place. If you hit the deer, your bullet's okay. It's, So.
Oh, yeah, suppressed rifle. You'd had more meat than you and all your friends could pack in the freezers.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna start calling it because I'm getting hungry myself. And a cat just came up here and scratched my leg again. And so I am going to wind it down. I had a good conversation. So I'm looking for a lever action Henry 410. How much they go for? $800-900 a Henry?
Probably sounds about right.
Yeah, better start saving.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Then I'm looking for a 357 revolver. I have to look at them to see which one I said I'm going to buy it on looks. I'll read reviews, of course, but the looks, I'll look at it and say, oh, I like that. Then I'll read the reviews. And if I like the reviews, then that's the one I'll go for, so.
It's easy to buy a revolver. There's really only 2 choices.
Is there? What's that?
A Smith or a Colt.
Well, what about the Taurus or the Ruger? As you said, there's only 2 choices.
Yeah, there's only 2 choices.
Yeah, but I mean, out of the 2 choices you give me, I would go for the S&W because the Colt to me is you're just paying for a brand name.
I don't know. I'll let you know next month.
Okay.
So, if you get Smith, you can find an older one.
Doesn't Beretta make a revolver?
No, the import one. If you got like $3,000 or $4,000, it's made by somebody else. But an old Smith, man, it comes down to me. It's all the trigger. Okay, and I like the older guns. They come with a better combat grips, the wooden grips, or the target grips they call them, but it's a distinguished combat magnum is what it is. But that's why I said that. But I like the older grips, and those older triggers they're just beautiful all the way around, man. I mean, there's just no complaints with that gun. And if I got a good revolver and 357 Magnum, man, that's a very accurate combination. Even I'd say another brand's weapon. Hard to beat a revolver, man. With 357
I know.
Magnum.
I said I need one in my collection. I need a 357 revolver. I really do. I
mean, at like 10 to 25 yards. I mean, like, geez, I doubt if you'll get anything accurate. I mean, you can pull off 100-yard shots with a nice revolver. I mean,
yeah,
it's just, yeah.
Oh, I seen what's his name? Is it? Oh, what's his name? Jerry Michalak shoot a balloon at 1,000 yards with a revolver.
Yeah, I saw that where he aimed up in the air,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
18 feet up in the air.
yeah, yeah. Oh, G23 said the Beretta revolver, $3,500. Yeah. Unknown user. Colt is a great gun, but overpriced. That's what I was saying. I didn't want to say that because my, in the gun world, I'm Stu wet behind the ears.
Well, I'll let you know. It could be. It could not be. You got to consider what it takes to make that.
Are they American made?
Yes.
Still?
Yes. A revolver takes a lot more work, a lot more material, a lot more precision to make a revolver. It's not a striker fired polymer gun that they're just mass producing. So the price is going to be more. But if a revolver truly falls down, you kind of get what you pay for. You pay a little more, you get a little better gun. And you want a nice, good, perfect gun, because really a revolver, you shouldn't go messing with it. You don't go modifying it yourself. You don't go, you know, tricking it out, accessorizing it, and trigger drops, and do all this. It needs to be left to a true gunsmith professional knows what they're doing. So you just want a nice revolver right out of the get-go and just enjoy it, shoot it, and use it. You know what I mean? It's not a project to modify it. So if you weigh in the cost of, say you bought the Glock for $500, and then you change every part that's in it, and you have $1,000 in it, it's the same thing. You should just, in a revolver's case, just buy the nice $1,000 revolver and be done with it.
Yeah. Talking about that, I mean, I know it was only, what was it, a little $650, but my Uberti single action, I mean, for what it is, it's a nice revolver. I mean, it's smooth and everything else. The trigger's great on it. But so I understand what you're saying. Mind you, though, Colt belongs to ZZ now, though, right?
Yes, technically.
Yeah. But I mean, I think they're still going to make their guns over here.
Oh yeah. From everything I heard, real quick on the story with Colt and CZ, from people that are around the inside, people that still talk to people that I've watched in Colt, people that work for Colt. CZ bought Colt. Their only desire was they wanted their hands on Colt out of Canada, because CZ wants the military firearm contract for the Canadian military. So they wanted the Colt there. They didn't really care about Colt USA, okay, in Hartford. They didn't change any management. They didn't fire anybody. They didn't do anything at Colt in America. So Colt in America is what it is. People are like, oh, I hope CZ fixes their quality, or I hope CZ does this or that. I don't think CZ is content with doing anything with Colt in America, just letting them be who they are, because they didn't change any management. So that just tells you right there, they're not doing anything.
Yeah, they're after the military contracts.
Yeah. Of course, they're a big company. They might inject some ways to save money or something like that. But in my opinion, Colt is kind of a weird firearm maker. They're doing the revolvers now, but they're a 1911 and they're an AR-15 company. All the other companies out there, they're coming out with new gun models, new designs, red dot stuff, just new platforms competing with concealed carry and all this and that. Colt's really not in that market at all. They're more of a classic type firearm. So they're kind of stuck right there. They're not going to come out with anything new or innovative or anything like that. That's just not who they are. Other companies like SIG and Smith and Wesson, or people, You know what I mean? They're stuck in, keeping up with the Joneses and let's make a new product and something new on the market and dominate this and dominate that. I think Colts kind of just stuck where they're at. You know what I mean? And they're going to stay that way. And I guess for like people like me, that's what I prefer. But I think Colts not really a money maker. I don't think it could be turned into being a money maker, and I don't think they could produce enough product to just like dominate and flood the markets. They're more like for the refined gun owner or the person that's been around. The new gun owner or the new concealed carry person. They're going to go to a different manufacturer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I know where you're coming from. Anyway, Jason, any shout outs or plugs?
No, good to see everybody. Happy New Year. Hope it's a great New Year for everybody. We're all still here. We're all still together. So I enjoy it. I appreciate y'all, man.
Yep, I agree. All right. Squib, anything?
I guess not. Thanks for the invite. Interesting show. That's about it.
Well, I appreciate your input from the deer blind there. So I appreciate your stopping by.
Yeah. Good hunting, Squib. Good luck.
Yeah. New York Outcast. You got anything? I forgot to mention rnldisplays.com. Like I got the wall mount behind me there. Look at that. We meant to get. They're forecasting little dust and snow on Sunday night for us.
Well, I don't have much, obviously. Well, not obviously, but today's the last day of the sale running at R&L Displays. So if anybody's interested, jump on it now, else you're getting full price or discounts. So the sale price does beat the discounts, at least with the rifle displays, PCC displays. So basically, it's the cheapest or most affordable way to get one if you are interested, is with this sale as far as the rifle display. So other than that, I just stayed, thanks for joining us.
Night Strike just put the link in the chat for rnldisplays.com.
Thank you, Night Strike.
If you don't get the sale thing, tomorrow you can use Rick's Life and get 15%. But right now it's at 25%, I believe, isn't it, on certain items?
Yep.
Yep. So there you go. So we got that. Everybody's done. I want to say thank you to everybody for stopping by on New Year's Day. I really do appreciate it that you started off 2022 with me, and I will be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. And I will see you all then. And everybody, I hope, I know 2022's got to be better than 2021. We all think positive, and it will be. All right, everybody. I will see you all later. So, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Sabrina.
Eat a salad.